Welcome to the Ad Expert Podcast, and welcome to the Deep Dive. This is your shortcut to being truly well-informed. Okay, let's unpack this. In the world of online visibility, things have been changing, well, faster than ever, really. We're talking about a massive shift just in the last 18 months or so. It's really altering how businesses get found online. And for any business trying to reach customers, or even if you're just trying to understand how information is discovered now, this is a huge deal. A game changer. Think of it like this. Imagine you're trying to win an election, but in two totally different countries. Each one has its own rules, its own media, its own way of deciding who's trustworthy. Today, we're diving into the essential differences between optimizing for Google search, that's like winning in country A, and optimizing for ChatGPT, which is country B. It's not just about two platforms. It's really about two fundamentally different ways people search and how these, powerful engines deliver answers. Now, the insights for this deep dive, they come to us from Ad Expert. They're a Los Angeles-based online marketing and web development agency.
They've been helping clients navigate these kinds of shifts for, a decade now, enhancing online presence, driving conversions, locally and beyond.
Yeah, and what's fascinating here is exactly that analogy. The rules, they've just shifted so rapidly. We really are operating in this kind of dual-engine world now. And it demands a totally new approach to digital marketing because, what makes you a trusted authority in country A, that's Google, it might not even register over in country B, ChatGPT.
Exactly. It's almost hard to believe, isn't it? SEO has evolved more in the past, 18 months than maybe the last 10 years combined. Google search, it's still a titan. The established power, no doubt.
Yeah.
But ChatGPT is quickly becoming this second home for users, especially people looking for direct answers, for recommendations. So the big question for businesses and for you listening is, are we just optimizing for Google?
Yep.
Or are we adapting for ChatGPT as well?
And that really raises the core issue, doesn't it? If you're not actively working to be visible in both countries, so to speak, what opportunities are you leaving on the table? The landscape has... it's really split. Understanding these distinctions isn't just, academic. It's critical to staying competitive, making sure your message actually gets seen wherever people are searching.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting and where our two countries idea really comes into play. Let's talk about the core difference, how they work. Think of Google like a traditional search engine. It indexes the whole web like a giant library, right? And it serves you clickable links.
Yeah.
You type something in, it gives you a list of pages you might want to check out. But ChatGPT, it's different. It's a language model answer engine. It doesn't just point you to pages. It summarizes, it synthesizes information, and often it recommends based on real-time data.
Yeah.
It's trying to give you the answer, not just show you where you might find it.
Absolutely, it is. And that's not just some technical detail. It fundamentally changes what online visibility even means. What's really vital to grasp here is that ChatGPT does not use Google's index.
Right. That's huge.
Yeah, it pulls its information, structured and trusted info from its own set of sources.
Yeah.
We're talking platforms like Bing, Yelp, Apple Maps, even Reddit sometimes, and various other review platforms. This changes, everything for how we think about being visible.
Yeah.
Because you're not just trying to get Google to rank your site anymore. You're aiming for this broader, more distributed digital presence. It's like being famous in one country's newspapers, but totally unknown in another equally important one if you haven't built up your reputation on their trusted channels.
Okay, so if they work so differently, their rule books, their ranking factors,
Yeah.
they must be pretty distinct too, right? For Google, we're kind of familiar with the usual suspects.
Yeah.
Strong backlinks, good domain authority, which is basically how much Google trusts your whole site based on its history and links. Structured data, keywords, page experience. That's the playbook we've known.
Precisely. And that playbook still matters, of course, for Google. But for ChatGPT SEO, the focus, it really shifts significantly. It's less about your website's direct authority, like that domain authority score. It's more about your overall digital footprint, your reputation across the web. So we're talking about things like robust business mentions everywhere, critically consistent NAP, name, address, phone, and I mean exact consistency. Everywhere your business is listed, even a tiny difference like Saint versus Street can potentially confuse an AI looking for validation.
Well, okay, that detail.
Yeah. And then you've got citations from trusted directories, think Yelp, Better Business Bureau, those kinds of places, and very importantly, robust structured schema markup on your site. You can think of schema as basically giving the AI a cheat sheet about your business. Yeah, like here's exactly what we offer, here's where we are, contact info, all in a format it can just instantly grab and understand and verify instead of it having to, guess by reading through paragraphs of text. This really highlights that ChatGPT SEO is about visibility across the web, not just on your site. It's about building that reputation and recognition in country B through, well, verified public records and third-party nods.
That distinction site authority versus broader digital footprint, that's really powerful. So how do people use these tools differently? Google users, they tend to skim titles, click links. They're often looking for options, more info to dig into themselves. But ChatGPT users, is their whole mindset different when they approach it?
Oh, absolutely. It often is. Google users are often researchers, like you said, ChatGPT users. They're frequently looking for a recommendation or just a straight answer. They tend to ask more conversational questions, and they expect a complete curated answer back, often looking for recommendations, not just a list of links. And this totally impacts your content strategy. For ChatGPT, you need things like in-depth guides, really clear FAQs, and formats that are super easy for an AI to scan and digest because the AI is doing the summarizing for the user. So for instance, if you ask ChatGPT like best pizza place in downtown, it might recommend a place that doesn't have the most Google reviews, but maybe it has tons of trustworthy mentions across Yelp, local blogs, directories, that kind of thing.
Interesting. So it weighs those mentions differently.
Exactly. I had a client, a small local service business, solid Google ranking, but just invisible in AI recommendations. We're really focused on optimizing their Bing Places profile, their Apple Maps listing, and getting consistent reviews on those platforms too. And boom, their recommendations from AI tools just shot up. It really showed that the user intent there is often direct suggestion, not research links.
That's a huge difference. Okay, so how do these two systems decide who to trust? What's their, their gut feeling built on?
Well, Google's AI, you could say it gauges trust kind of like a traditional academic. It looks at your published work, your website. It looks at internal coherence, your site structure, internal links. And critically, who cites your work, your backlink profile. It's about how well-connected and internally robust your website is.
Okay.
ChatGPT, though, it's more like maybe a social investigator. It validates your identity and reputation by cross-referencing you across multiple third-party public records and reviews. It cares less about your self-published authority, maybe, and more about your verified public identity.
Ah, I see.
Which is why that schema markup, those business directories, the volume and consistency of reviews across multiple platforms, that's also critical. Structured data, like local business schema or FAQ schema, it plays this massive role. It's how ChatGPT accurately understands and validates you, your offerings, your trustworthiness, without needing to parse tons of text.
And for local businesses, this is just massive, isn't it?
Right.
What are the differences for just showing up in your neighborhood search? That's often the lifeblood.
It is. Local SEO has always been vital, but the pathways, they've diverged a bit. Google still puts a really heavy emphasis on local proximity, obviously. And the strength, the recency, the sheer number of your Google business profile reviews. It wants to know you're a strong player in its own ecosystem, right?
Makes sense.
ChatGPT, though, it casts a much wider net. It looks at your presence and, crucially, that consistency on Bing Places, Apple Maps, Yelp. A business with complete and totally consistent citations across all these key platforms, that business is far more likely to get recommended by ChatGPT. So it's not just about optimizing your Google listing anymore. It's about this cohesive presence everywhere local businesses are listed, building that broad base of trust signals for the AI, validating your real-world existence and reputation.
Okay, here's a really stark difference that might surprise some people. Ads. Google, we all know, serves up a mix. Paid ads, snippets, organic links. You can often pay to play, right? Buy your way towards the top. Influence in country A. But what about ChatGPT? Could you just buy a recommendation there?
Nope. Exactly. ChatGPT provides 0 ads, only organic recommendations, period.
Wow.
Which means there is absolutely no shortcut through paid advertising. You have to earn your spot. Purely through a genuine digital presence, structured mentions, demonstrated trust, ChatGPT is prioritizing credibility and utility, seemingly over clicks or ad revenue, which, builds immense user confidence in its recommendations. It's a fundamental difference in philosophy, really. Monetization versus user experience.
That's fascinating. Okay, so it sounds like both engines would probably reward well-structured data, like using schema. But is it for the same reason? Is technical SEO equally important, or does it play different roles?
Good question. Both benefit, yes, but not quite for the same reason. Google uses schema mostly to enhance your listings, make them stand out visually in the search results. Rich snippets, star ratings, prices, making your storefront more attractive, basically.
Right, those little extras you see.
Exactly. ChatGPT, however, uses schema primarily to understand and cite your business.
Mhm.
So schema like local business, service, nested FAQs, it isn't just a nice bonus for ChatGPT SEO. It's practically non-negotiable. It's the fundamental language the AI uses to accurately represent you, to validate your information, not just, make it look prettier.
That's a critical difference in why you do it. Okay.
Yeah.
And what about speed? How quickly do they react to changes? Like if you update your hours or get a bunch of new reviews, does one system update faster?
Yeah, this is another key operational difference. Google's index reflects the web, but there's often a bit of a delay, right? It's constantly crawling, but changes might not impact core rankings immediately.
Hmm.
ChatGPT, on the other hand, because it pulls real-time results from sources like Bing.
Bing, right.
Yeah, it means your updates on directories or even new customer reviews on some platforms can potentially impact your ChatGPT results almost immediately. It's a much faster feedback loop, which demands, a more agile, real-time approach to managing your online presence everywhere.
Okay, so it sounds like two pretty distinct worlds, two different countries, like we said.
Yeah.
But are they starting to blend at all? We hear a lot about Google rolling out its own AI features now.
Indeed they are. And yes, with Google rolling out its AI overviews, that distinction is definitely starting to blur. Google's AI now also summarizes answers from high-authority content, much like ChatGPT does. And what's really interesting here is that businesses doing well in Google's AI overviews, they often show many of the same signals that ChatGPT favors.
Oh, interesting. Like what?
Like consistent citations across multiple platforms, robust schema markup, comprehensive FAQs on their site, content that really builds genuine trust across the web, not just on their own domain. So, yeah, this is the convergence point, where the best practices for success in country B are increasingly influencing what you need to do to succeed in country A's new AI features.
Okay, so wrapping this all up, what does this mean for you listening right now? If you're a business owner, a marketer, or just trying to understand modern SEO, what's the big takeaway?
I think the final verdict is pretty clear. You really have to optimize for both now, Google. Still the king of traffic. The dominant force for sheer discovery volume, no question. But ChatGPT is quietly, yet very powerfully, becoming this trusted decision-making engine for a growing number of users. If you only focus on traditional Google SEO, you are absolutely 100% leaving leads, customers, recommendations, money on the table.
Right.
Modern online visibility requires a dual strategy. You need strong Google SEO focusing on website authority and ranking, and you need a parallel investment in ChatGPT visibility, making sure your presence is robust, consistent, trusted across all those platforms it draws from. It's about winning in both electoral systems, basically, to truly secure that online vote.
Okay, that's super clear. So for those listening who are ready to take action, what are maybe 2 or 3 concrete first steps they could take?
Absolutely. Okay, first step, nail down that NAP consistency. Name, address, phone. Make it identical across Google Business Profile, Bing Places, Yelp, Apple Maps. Audit it, fix it. Second, implement schema markup. Focus on local business, service, and FAQ schema on your key website pages. Give the AIs that cheat sheet.
Okay.
Third, add more in-depth long-form content, especially pages with clear, structured FAQs. Think about the questions people ask ChatGPT and answer them thoroughly on your site. Fourth, maybe, actively look for ways to build mentions on relevant platforms. Think niche directories, maybe forums like Reddit if appropriate, review sites beyond just Google, and maybe a fifth. Keep an eye on your visibility on Bing. Since ChatGPT uses it, tracking your Bing presence can give you clues about your potential ChatGPT visibility.
Fantastic. That's really actionable advice. Wow, what an incredible deep dive. It's so clear that this difference between SEO for Google search and ChatGPT, it isn't just about platforms, is it? It's about how users search now, how these engines understand authority differently, and critically, where your business gets mentioned across the whole internet.
Yeah.
We're definitely in a new era. And as AI keeps reshaping how we find information, here's something to think about. In this world of instant answers, personalized recommendations, how will the very definition of authority keep evolving? And what does true trust even look like when it's synthesized and handed to you by an AI?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? But for now, smart digital marketing in, 2025 and beyond, it truly means showing up everywhere. In traditional search results, yes, but also in AI answers and in all those trusted source platforms that both engines pull from. The call to action for you is pretty clear. Embrace this omni-channel SEO. Build trust across the entire internet, not just on your homepage.
Well said. And of course, if you need help navigating this complex, this dual-engine world, remember AdExpert. They're dedicated to helping businesses grow their online presence and hit their goals. As a Los Angeles-based agency, they offer that full suite. Google Ads Management, website SEO, local SEO, social media, web development. They're all about delivering those innovative, data-driven solutions to make sure your business thrives in both of these crucial online ecosystems. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep learning.